Hello, beautiful people. My name is attorney Roxell Richards, and welcome back to another episode of the Gavel. As you know, the Gavel is a place where we come to talk about different injury case types and the law in plain and simple terms so that you can understand it, or maybe a lawyer out there can understand it, so that you can help get some monetary damages for your case. I also do my very best to make sure I also give very practical knowledge with you all, so that for things that I have done personally, so that you can understand what has worked for me can work for you as well. So that's why we come and tune into these episodes of the Gavel. If you do have some questions that you would maybe like me to answer, feel free to email me at rr@roxellrichards.com. And if it isn't something that I have never handled, I will tell you it's something I've never handled, but I'm up for the challenge. I love to research, I love to read, and I don't know, I just love strategy. So just tell me, give me a shot. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. Okay, so this particular episode, we are talking about how to handle the Chapter 74 hearing to your, how to handle the Chapter 74 hearing wherein the defendant will come in and object to your report. And I have 8 simple steps that I want you guys to jot down in handling the chapter, your hearing, okay? So jot these notes down, you guys. I'm going to allow you to be able to read everything off the screen, of course, but jot them down anyway. So the first thing you want to do when you show up to the hearing, wherein the defendant is raising their objections to your Chapter 74 report, you want to ask for a record. I know it can sometimes, when we're in the heat of the moment and when we're kind of working on these things and we got a lot of things going on, sometimes that one little step we'll miss. But don't forget, that's the very first thing you need to do. You need to ask for a hearing, because God forbid if their objections get sustained, you have to do an appeal, you want to be able to make sure that the Court of Appeals has that record. That's number one. Number two, you want to be able to just state your request in plain and simple terms. Now, I still use flashcards, you guys, and I'm not bashful about it. I have my little flashcards with me when I get to the hearing, and I'll just state my request. Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting this honorable court to overrule Dr. So-and-so's objections to my expert Chapter 74 report and to deny their motion to dismiss the case. Very simple. You want to make the request. Number two, you want to give the law and the case relating to the Chapter 74 report, and have a copy of the case law and give that to the judge with the actual law that you're citing in the actual printout. Have it highlighted. So I'll have my flashcard with me. Now, this is what I do for myself, but whatever method works for you, that's cool. I'll read out the law, the law supporting my request, and I'll just read out the law. Now, I talked about earlier what the law is regarding Chapter 74 reports. So go back to, I believe it was the very first episode where I talked about medical malpractice, and I actually talk about the law, and I quote that law. So make sure you have that law handy. Number three, then I give my summary argument, and I just give like a one sentence that says my expert report complies with Civil Practice Remedies Code 74.351 R6, as well as the Palacios Court interpretation of this chapter section, in that the report discusses the standard of care, breach, causation with sufficient specificity to inform the defendant of his conduct, and it provides a basis for you to make an objective determination that the report constitutes a good faith compliance attempt. That's my summary argument, just one sentence. Then number four, you want to direct the court to your report, which they should have, but if not, you can have a copy for them. But you want to direct the court literally to the portions within it that meet the elements. So again, you want to, in your report, you want to say, Your Honor, turn to page 1. Here's the standard of care that was that my expert discussed. This is what the standard of care this particular doctor should have acted under. Number 2, here's the breach. This is what he didn't do. Number 3, here is because he did not follow that particular standard of care. This is what it caused. And number 4, here's what the injuries are to the plaintiff. It's just that simple. Just literally direct the court to where in the report you discuss those things. And then number 5, you want to address the defendant's argument. And so on this particular portion, I'll literally go step by step on the defendant's argument, and I'll say, Your Honor, the first argument that defendant raises, and I'll just literally state what that argument is. And then what I'll do is I'll actually give the court case law showing why this argument is unsupported by the case law. It's just that simple. And because the court will already have my case law already in front of them, I'll say, Your Honor, this argument, it fails, and this is why. This is what the case law says. And then the next thing I will do is I will go back to my argument and my explanation as to why, again, let's see here, what do I say? Yeah, I'll give my explanation as to why my report meets the element and the statute. And again, I'll read from the report where standard of care is addressed, where the breach is addressed, where causation is addressed, and where the damages occurring to my client is as well. And then last but not least, I make the request again. Your Honor, we're requesting the court to strike such and such defendant's objection to the report and overrule their request to order that my expert has to cure any deficiencies, as well as to overrule their motion to dismiss all claims with prejudice. That's literally what I do. So, and again, I'll have a template response. I am working on a guide for you all where I talk about all the practical stuff that we're talking about with templates, and just so that you can understand everything in plain and simple terms, because I know us lawyers, we make everything complicated. I don't know why we do it, but we do it. But I try my best to make everything plain and simple for you guys. So yeah, that's my 8 simple steps to handling a hearing wherein you have to deal with the defendant's objections to your Chapter 74 report. That is my time for today, and I will see you next time.